Hey guys, it's Yo with part 7 of Let's Play Cave Story. And you remember at the end of the last part, I tried to go through the cave and died and whatnot. I actually remembered I skipped like 5 different things I needed to do. So we're actually going to go back and grab a couple of things that I completely missed. Because they're kind of important, like the whole reason I did half of the stuff I did in this game. So we need to come back down here, and you know, this Curly is down here, but she seems to have no memories, even more than she didn't have before. So we talked to this dude. He says she showed up by the spring, but she doesn't know who she is, but he's heard about a mushroom that helps people recover memory if they eat it. And you'll remember we actually have seen mushrooms somewhere before. So we gotta head back to the very beginning of the game. By the graveyard you get the key from at the very beginning. There's a bunch of mushrooms there, so we gotta head back over there. So, teleport back to Arthur's house. And, you'll remember I said before I didn't remember where I missed a life capsule. I actually remembered where I missed it at. So, we can go grab that too while we're here. If you come up here above this house, above that save room, and go through this door, there is a farm. And if you come all the way to the right side on the farm, here is the last life capsule. So you can actually get that way before this. I just completely forgot that was even here. But that puts me up to 50 health, which is the maximum. So we gotta come back down here and go to the graveyard now. All the way over here. Remember, there's mushrooms here, so maybe this is where we find what we're looking for. So if we jump up here, there's a door up here you can't get to till you get the booster. And there's a blue mushroom in here. So you talk to the mushroom and say, I have business with you. And they're like, oh, amnesia, that sucks. Do you want the mushroom badge? Yeah, but you don't really need it. No. Wait, you really do want it? Yes. You really want it no matter what? Yes. Then you don't need it. No. And then they say, okay, I'll give it to you. So they kind of try and mix you up with those questions there. If you get one wrong, you just do it over, so it's not that big a deal. But if you come in here, you go, oh yeah, I got the mushroom badge, and then it says it has no purpose. So you talk to them again, and they say, oh, you found me out, it's just a normal badge. And then they don't want to get eaten, so they're gonna put up a fight, because they're not gonna go down without a fight. So now we have to fight the giant, or I guess not the giant, you have to fight the dangerous blue mushroom now that drops boulders and stuff on you. Just dodge the boulders and kill the mushrooms they spawn, and not too difficult of a fight. See? Pretty easy actually. But then you get Pignon, which is the mushroom that we were looking for. So kill these stupid mushrooms in my way. And, oh yeah, one other thing we can do in here. I guess I should show that. Kill all the mushrooms. You'll remember that there was that family that asked if you had seen their husband. That little tiny person. You'll notice there's a little tiny dude moving in this grass in here. He's kind of hard to see. But if you talk to him, he says, oh, my wife's been looking for me. It's because I haven't been home in a long time. I'll go home. And he says, certainly you can take me there, yes? Because he's too lazy to run. So you gotta take him home. So I'll meet you guys back at his house, because it's kind of a long run. And we gotta go outside and whatnot. So I'll meet you guys back there. Okay, and we're back here. It's the outside of the island, if you remember, right where you come from, the egg corridor. And the family of small people are living down here. So he says he's home, yeah, and you come in, and if you talk to him, he says, that's a beautiful sword you have. How about you trade it for my gun? So you give him the sword and get the nemesis. Now, you can trade back for the sword if you end up not liking the nemesis, but I am going to keep it for now. And what the nemesis does is it is actually the reverse of a normal weapon in that it is most powerful at level 1. And as you level it up, it actually becomes weaker. And once you get it to level 3, I think it actually does like 1 damage and like doesn't shoot anywhere, doesn't do any damage or something like that. It's another gun I'm going to take because it's nice to have guns that are effective at level 1 for the next couple areas. So we grab that, and it's actually tough to use because if you pick up any power triangles at all, it automatically levels it up. It only takes 1 to level it up a level. So it's pretty, you have to be really careful about what you do with that one. That being said, I will meet you guys back up at the top area. Alright, so here we are back at the plantation. And now that we have the mushroom, we can come down and talk to Curly. She says, "Who are you?" And you shove the mushroom in her mouth. And she says, "Quote," and she says your name is Quote. This is the only way you can figure out what your name is in this game, is no one else says it any other time, and if you don't get the best ending and Curly dies before this, you obviously can't get figured out either. But your name is Quote, and this is where you figure out the backstory. And back in the original war, a great number of robots were sent to the island, and they were sent by the countries of the surface to find the incredible slumbering power on the floating island, and it was about the Demon Crown. But Curly and Quote were different because they were sent on a mission to destroy the crown. The island was in a mess when they landed, ravaged by the robots, and they murdered scores of the Mimiges. It was terrible. One man finally sees the Demon Crown, and the robots' mission was complete, so they stopped doing anything. But that was simply the beginning, because the man who was able to capture the crown turned the Mimige into the beasts with the red flowers, and they began attacking the surface. We fought him and tried to defeat him, and that's all they can remember, but the crown person, the bearer, was surely injured by both of them. And she says, "Can you recall anything?" And you say no. Talk to her again, she says she's fine, but she gives you the Iron Band. That is necessary to get the best ending, and it's a good idea to get it. And we have one more upgrade we need to go get before we can finish the game, so I'll meet you guys back in the labyrinth. Alright, so here we are in the labyrinth, and you can teleport here from Arthur's house, since Professor Booster used the teleporter to come back to Arthur's house. And you'll notice when we come back into this area, there's now the stupid blue ninja cockroach dudes here, which makes this area really annoying to get through. I'm not going to stop, though, as it takes too long, and I hate these dudes. So we just have to run backwards through this area we ran through before. And there's actually 2 upgrades we need to get. I forgot about one of them. So these are pretty easy with the booster. And you'll remember way back when we did the labyrinth, I said we could come back and get this upgrade later. And you can come get this as soon as you get the booster, if you don't have the machine gun. So we come up in here and open this chest, and it is the arms barrier. And what the arms barrier does is, whenever you take damage, you lose levels on your weapons. The arms barrier makes it so you lose half the experience on your weapons whenever you take damage. So it's a good upgrade to come and get when you like to take damage like I do. A lot. But there's one other thing we can get if we come all the way back over here. So we come back in here, and this is the labyrinth shop. And if we talk to the dude behind the counter, and he says, unfortunately, everything got stolen, so he doesn't have anything to sell me. But he says he's going to give me the whimsical star. And he says it's more like a decoration, but that's about all he can offer since I'm already in possession of an ultimate weapon. So whenever you get one of the ultimate weapons, you can get that, I believe. And if you charge your gun to full, it gets stars flying everywhere. It might actually only be if you get the spur that you can get this. But when you charge it, it summons stars that fly around you. And they actually do hit enemies and do damage to them. It is very little damage. It's like 1 damage a hit. So it's not really worth anything. But it's still something, so I get it. And with that, that's all we're going to get down here. So I will meet you guys back above the plantation before the cave. Alright, so here we are above the plantation. And we're going to the cave, and all of our weapons drop to level 1. And this is why I like having the spur, is because my spur is still awesome sauceum when it's level 1. And the Nemesis is good as well, so if you're going to take something that's not the spur, I recommend you could try getting, if you don't want to use the sword, you could try getting the Nemesis. The sword's still really good at level 1, actually, but the Nemesis is even better at level 1. So it's up to you, but I like to have at least one weapon that I can use really, really well at level 1 for this area, because these dudes have a lot. They're pretty tough if you don't have a decent weapon. So we just need to boost around through this cave. And this cave is extremely different if you do the normal ending, because you don't have the level 2 booster, so you can only boost straight up. So needless to say, most of these jumps would not make sense as being possible if you don't have the good ending. And as well, you don't, I believe, your weapons don't de-level with the normal ending. So if you're going to do the normal ending, you don't need to worry about having a really good weapon at this part. But come on! The good ending, the normal ending is just not as good as the best ending, right? You don't get to do these awesome line-up jumps and boosts, and no, it really is. It really, really is so much fun doing these jumps. I love games like this where it's a challenge, but it's not impossible. So it's like, oh, you know you can do it when you mess up, and you just know that you are so close to getting it done. It's a real challenge. Kill these dudes, jump up and kill this dude, and you need to make sure when you boost for this jump, you do it at the very top of your jump, or you will not make that jump. So we have the red ogre here. We'll get a beam charge before we go fight him, so we can do quite a bit of damage to him. Oh wow, he hit me already. Ooh, ooh. At least he only does 6 damage. Oh, he hit me again. Well, now he's dead. So we get some experience, some triangles from him, and we open the chest and get the red ogre medal. That's just for beating him. It shows you're awesome and got the good ending. There's a couple of medals you can get throughout the game. The only one I know of specifically offhand is there's one at the underwater part where it was like the side-scrolling, shooting the fish and all that part. If you do that without getting hit, you get a medal, and I think there's a couple of bosses. It might be all the bosses that you can beat without getting hit will give you a medal. But I, needless to say, did not avoid getting hit, so I didn't get any medals other than that one. Now this part, you'll notice has those smashy block dudes up there. This part is really annoying, because if you mess it up, you die in one hit, because these dudes kill you in one hit. So you can try and play it safe and just inch out little by little and get hit, and then back off before they smash you, and then kill them when they come down. Or if you have the gun that shoots through walls, you can just kill them with that. But we aren't going to go with either of those options, so we're going to try getting just through this area. And then you can come back and kill them and get stuff from them if you need power-ups or something. Now this part's really annoying because they're all straight and there's pits, so you have to boost across this entire part. And if, needless to say, if you had the wall shooting one, you just jump up there and kill all of them and it would be awesome. So let's see if we can boost through this. Yeah, we made it. So that part's really annoying to get killed in one hit down. And again, if you're missing hearts or something and want to come back and get stuff, you can kill them really quick and get stuff, but I don't think that's really necessary. Because when we come through, we come out to the balcony on top of the island. So there's mimiges up here that have been taken by the red flowers, and we kill them and level up our weapons. And you see there's a helicopter right here. And it's the helicopter Sue came in on, but you can't do anything with it. So we come in here, and we save it, and you can use the bed to heal back to full. And so there's that for you. And if you come out on the balcony, there's more of these dudes to kill, and there's the giant ones that are like the boss at the beginning. So I'm just gonna run past him. If you come over here, this is where you need to go. If you go above this door right here, there is stuff. So if you look, there's a box here that has a ton of the experience power-ups and health and missiles, and so we're gonna get our weapons leveled up here. All of them, in case I need them. There's no telling what I'm gonna need at this next part. Whoops, I accidentally leveled the wrong one up. So everything's maxed now. I have full missiles, I have full health. So we'll see if we can't do this next part in this video. So I'm just gonna tell you guys now that I'm gonna cut out any deaths, so all you're gonna see is me kicking boss butt. So I'll see you guys kicking boss butt. So we find Misery, she says it's you again, and that I'm very tenacious. To destroy the core, that's why I'm here. And she underestimated me, and she has no regrets. It was her fate to obey the one with the crown, and now we finally get to fight Misery. And she shoots black bubbles at you that, like, drop on you, and she just floats in the air and teleports away and has rings of death and drops blocks and summons bats. If you do too much damage to her, she will teleport away. Otherwise, she sits there for a certain amount of time. And you can kill the bats to get experience or health and missiles, whatever you need. Those blocks hurt quite a bit if you get hit by them, so I recommend avoiding getting hit by them. But she's not too bad, especially with the spur, because it destroys bosses. So you beat her, and she gets pissed and runs away. And you defeated Misery! Yeah! So, now some stairs appear, and the ceiling opens up. So I guess we can go up here now. So, there's locked up images, and it's the Doctor! Finally complete. The images become enraged when given the red flower as a form of medication. It's rather simple. The red flower brings out latent abilities, but also contains a compound that destroys reasoning. And he's extracted and intensified it into a red crystal. And the red crystal works on humans as well. So he asks if we know how extraordinary it is, and he's going to give us a very special lecture by using the crystal. So you can tell where he's going to teleport to based on where the crystal goes. And again, just keep dodging him and hitting him with a laser. He just shoots those red orb things at you, and then he does that, which is annoying. And they bounce off walls and stuff and are pretty annoying to dodge. But again, he doesn't take much to go down. And the power's out of control, of course, so he turns into a giant monster. And he teleports as well, but the crystal shows you where he's going to teleport to as well. He dashes at you and jumps around, and the spur kind of rocks him as well. And he summons giant waves of bats, but I killed him. So now he disintegrates into a giant pool of red crystal bits. So now we have defeated the Doctor. And more stairs appear, and the ceiling opens up again. And if you talk to any of these Mimigas, they're just like, "Yay, you saved us and beat the Doctor." So we come up here, and it's black space. And you'll notice that the core, I guess, destroyed cores in the background here, and there it is in the background as well. And then Misery shows up again, and summons Sue. And she says if we want to save Sue, we need to stay away from the core. And she says we're different than the other robots, but she's surprised that the new king was defeated. And she says we can fall to the doom with the island, or forget everything about this and leave with Sue. So if we do that, she can guarantee Sue's life, or else. And then we hear a voice that says he's not going to let us escape. And what's this? It looks like the Doctor has been basically revived by the red crystal. And even though his body was destroyed, his consciousness is clear, and he's a superhuman. And so they have a chat about cheating death, and then Misery can't even do anything to him. So the Doctor says he's going to take over Misery as his puppet until she dies. And he infects her with the red crystal, and he transforms, or she transforms, I guess. Now, when Sue tries to leave, she gets infected by the red crystal, and she turns crazy too. And now the core's alive, and so now I'm fighting Misery and Sue and the core. So this is going to be an intense boss fight, I imagine. Misery summons these blobs so you can get health and missiles and experience and stuff. And they don't do too much damage as they're some of the basic blobs, so they're actually really nice because you can kill them and get lots of stuff you need. Sue, on the other hand, does not do anything useful for you, so it is imperative that you take her out as quickly as you can, as all she does is do damage. So she's not helping at all. Where Misery's summoning the blobs, Sue's not doing anything. And you'll notice the core is opening up in the background still, like he did the first fight. And I'm kind of ignoring him at the moment because there's a lot of crap going on right now, so he's the last of my worries. So it looks like we took Sue out. So now that we have Misery here summoning stuff for me to get health and whatnot, I'm actually going to ignore her for the time being and focus on fighting the core. She's summoning these stupid fish things now, which are kind of annoying, but if I use the bubbler, it works as a good shield to take them out, and she summons bats as well. But I'm going to try and ignore them and just kill the core. We'll take out some of these fish. And that's not the right item I wanted. And I'm getting very low on health here. So, dodge as many attacks as you can, get as much health as you can. Oh, the giant white orbs! Alright, well, I'm not going to cut all that stuff out because I did really well against those other bosses, so I'll just meet you guys back at the core. Okay, you'll notice I have less health than last time, as, These boss fights, they're pretty dang brutal. I didn't do it nearly as well as I did before, and these fights, doing these 3 fights in a row without any, basically, chance to heal or anything in between, it's brutal. It's just brutal. I do have the life potion thing I could use, but I prefer to not use that. There's some... It's just... I hate using one-shot items like that, so I try not to. So we'll see if we can't get some health back during this fight, at least, and trying to not die. Doing okay so far, but I don't want to jinx it, so I probably shouldn't say that. Ooh. I like it when these dudes drop health. It's nice. Okay, we got Sue down. So now it's down to Misery and the core. And I hate Misery using those stupid fish things, so I'm actually going to try and beat her up this time. I don't know if it... My game just froze there. I don't know if it showed up on the recording or not. I assume it did, so that was kind of weird. I thought it had like crashed for a second. I was getting pretty pissed there. Okay, so we got Misery down. So now we can just concentrate on the core for the most part. Stupid fish thing. So he's not too bad once we have all that other stuff out of the way. He has a couple of projectiles, but as soon as basically his face appears, if you shoot him, he disappears if you do too much damage to him, so you can't kill him basically in one shot. But we're getting him here. He's not too tough once all the other like random people bouncing around and stuff are gone. So it seems like it was a much better choice to actually defeat Misery this time. Oh geez, giant orbs. Gotta watch out for this face. Then there we go, he's dead. So the core starts sinking and exploding, and giant explosion, and the core blows up. So we destroyed the undead core. That's probably a bad sign. So the helicopter's good to go. So there you see Sue's mom and Ito, or whatever his name was, and they get the helicopter ready so they can fly off the island to get back to the surface. And now stuff starts falling, and something has happened to the core. Yeah, it got blowed up. So now we're in here, and Sue wakes up, and she's like, oh no, the island's starting to collapse. It's only a matter of time before the area collapses. We need to escape. So now we need to escape. So we come down here, come back down through all these areas we just beat, come outside. And this way, you'll be squished if you don't run fast enough. Luckily for me, it gave me full health, so I don't care if I get squished. I have enough health. Otherwise, I'd probably get one shot by these blocks. And we go in this room instead. And it's the Prefab House. You can only go in this room if you get the good ending. And with that, I'm going to call this the end of the part. I will show you guys the normal ending and the good ending at the next part. It'll start with the normal ending, and then I'll go proceed to get the good ending. This part's probably going to be pretty long. Sorry about that, guys. I'm really sorry these parts are so long. I just really wanted to try and get as much in as I possibly could. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.